the agenda, and Mr. Putin said progress had been made. Well, I'm joined now by Sina Azodi, Atlantic Council Fellow and a PhD candidate in International Affairs at the University of South Florida. It's great to get you on the program, Mr. Azodi. I want to start by just asking you how you think the visit went.
I believe that I think that President Putin's trip to Iran is quite essential in the context of what we've been hearing. Recently, we heard that Iran may supply drones to Russia. Iran issued a vague statement. They did not, confirm it. They did not confirm it either. So I believe there's a possibility that the discussion over drones will come in. I think also that there's also trade involved. Iranian oil ministry issued a statement announcing that the largest investment in Iran's oil industry has been signed with Russia. So I think it is an important trip for both Iran and Russia, which has been, both of them have been isolated due to the sanctions of the United States and the West.
But Mr. Azodi, it's not like Iran and Russia have been fast friends or BFFs, to use a colloquial phrase. Is this more a sort of marriage of convenience than a long-lasting relationship?
Absolutely. There have been times that Russia has undermined Iran's interests by pursuing its own interests. Recently, when Iran was selling oil to China at a discounted price, Russia also began selling its oil to China at a discounted price, creating a lot of competition for Iranian oil, the money that Iran desperately needs to run the economy. Previously, Russia has used its defense contracts with Iran, namely the case of the S-300 missile defense system, to basically push Iran where it wants to. So in Syria, too, Iran and Russia have certain mutual interests. That is why they cooperated in Syria. But are they strategic allies? I believe that they're not.
Mr. Azodi, I just want to turn to Turkey now, because Turkey's role in all of this is, of course, super interesting. How do you think the West, particularly NATO allies, might view this visit?
I don't believe that this is necessarily a concern for the West. Turkey is reportedly going to conduct an operation in northern Syria. Iran does see it as a mistake, and Ayatollah Khamenei did say today that when actually President Erdogan was in Tehran, that this is a mistake and it could jeopardize regional security and help Western countries. But I do not believe that this President Erdogan's trip to Tehran is a concern for the West and NATO. I believe that Turkey has its own problems with NATO, especially over the purchase of the S-400 missile systems from Russia. But as I said, I don't believe that this is quite a concern or a major concern for the West and the United States.
I find that surprising, Mr. Azodi, because, of course, it is a key member of the alliance and it's trying to play this sort of mediator. Is that a sensible strategy in your view?
I think the Turks have realized, Turkey really tried to align itself with the West to get itself in the EU. But I believe that over the years they have been disappointed or rather dismayed with the progress of aligning their policies with the West, especially, as I said, after they purchased the S-400 missile system and they were kicked out of the F-35s. So they have major problems with the West. And as much as they've tried, and even recently with the application of Finland and Sweden for NATO, I think that Turkey has been increasingly causing problems with NATO. But I don't believe that, as I said, going back to your previous question, I do not believe that this trip could be a major concern for the Western allies.
Sina Azodi, the Atlantic Council Fellow, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday with your thoughts.